What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and this computer just always wants to saddlebag me. So here we are on a beautiful little Sunday. Hope you're all enjoying your weekend. But free agency is about to begin, so we are finishing up this free agent series. Hopefully you've been able to check out every other position. Got linebackers out last night, cornerbacks today, and maybe later tonight, safeties if I can find the time to finish that one, or I'll put it out early tomorrow morning. Either way, I'll have you ready for this free agency period. Now, tampering will begin tomorrow, so you're going to see some talk, chatter, things going down, and then on Wednesday, it officially begins at 4 o'clock. So getting you pumped up and ready. Monday and Tuesday, we'll do recaps. We'll talk about the free agents that are out there, what the Eagles should do, already have done, all that stuff, keeping you up to date to the best of my ability. But appreciate you all taking the time, hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing. Let's jump right into this. And we started off each show with the cap space. Now, as I've told you, it's around like $22.5 million. Once Saquon Barkley's hit, around 23, 22.5. But Zach Bond, he still has not hit the books. So when that comes out, I'll have an actual number for you. Right now, I'm projecting his cap hit to be around like 5, 6, maybe 7 mil. But you're still going to have over 15 mil to play with here in the offseason. We've already got, Barkley locked up. Bond is back. We're hoping to get Mekhi Becton. A lot of these things we've talked about. And look, Myles Garrett just signed an extension, so we can finally stop hearing about that. Thank the Lord. But we've got money to do whatever we want, and we've already talked about all the other positions. Let's talk about the cornerbacks here. So the Eagles, obviously, we mentioned a few weeks ago here, Darius Slay, James Bradberry, potential post-June 1st cuts, and, well, that news has already been released. So when that time comes, they will be free agents. But right now, still kind of on the team, but I'm going to list them in the free agent category here. You can see Slay and Bradberry along with Rodgers and Maddox there. So you've got Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, the future here, and very excited about that. But Kaylee Ringo, Eli Ricks, they are still here to compete as well. Reserve future guys, Perry Nickerson, Tariq Castro-Fields, A.J. Woods, some versatile defensive backs. Not exactly guys that are going to be your starters. So kind of leaves it at Kaylee Ringo. Maybe Eli Ricks pushes them, but the question becomes, do you bring any of these guys back? Because Bradberry and Slay post-June 1st, you can still sign them at a lower number. Now, for me, I'm not bringing Slay or Bradberry back. And that's before Slay was out here, talking trash. He's always kind of been like that. So, as I told you guys a few weeks ago, I feel he's the kind of guy that'll stab you right in the back. He will happily jump on another team, get paid. And I think he's kind of already shown that since, that news dropped. So, I think we were a nail on the head with that one. But, look, I'm good with it because Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean are the future. The question is, do you want to move Cooper DeJean outside? No. You want him to stay at that nickel position where he is a star. He can play outside. I would not be mad at it. But bring in somebody that can be that outside guy. And Kaylee Ringo can push that person. They can compete. But there are a lot of free agent options. I've talked about it. Hell, you go into the draft and get yourself another cornerback for the future. I'm not against it. So, a lot of options here for the Eagles. And, well, today we're here to look at the options in the free agency that is about to begin. So let's take a gander here at all 88 of the free agent cornerbacks. And we'll talk about exclusive, restricted, and unrestricted here. We'll start it off with the exclusive rights. These are guys with 2 years or less. If they get tendered by their team, they either sign with that team or they don't play for the season. So you see Baker, Austin, Wilson, and Speed are the exclusive rights guys with those 2 years or less. Then you have restricted free agents. We talk about they can be tendered with that first or second round, the original round tender, or a right of refusal. So if someone tries to sign them, they can match that offer. You see former Eagle Andre Sacharade there, somebody that can play corner, can play safety, special teams. So that's somebody that maybe another team would try to go after. Whatever their tender is, they would have to pay up. So it gets tricky with the restricted stuff, but we'll see if any of these guys are sought after by other teams. Now, the unrestricted, these are guys that anybody can sign. And, well, we've got 2 pages, 39 on each. And just like the other ones, we start from the lowest paid, working our way up to the highest paid. So you see McLeod here at the bottom. That is the lowest, and you keep going. That's how much they were paid last year. So on this list, Michael Jackson doing his thing for the Panthers and got that starting job from Dane Jackson. I thought, he really looked well last year. You got guys like Jalen Mills on there, corner/safety. Same with Elijah Riley, 2 former Eagles. Those versatile defensive backs. Witherspoon doing well in LA there. Miles Bryant. We talked about him when we needed a nickel. You've got some intriguing pieces here. Some former Eagles on there. All kinds of stuff going down. But, you guys can let me know how you feel about this list. Obviously, the next list is more of your top tier guys, where I know a lot of you are going to be talking about. And I didn't put Slay or Bradbury on here because, again, not officially cut. And they're not free agents I'm concerned about talking about. Now, if your team, you're a fan of another team, you want them, good for you. But you can see St. Just and Igbenegany there for the Commanders. Paulson Adebo at the bottom. You got a lot of really talented guys. Tavier Thomas, Dante Jackson, Asante Samuel Jr. there. And you can see as you work your way up the list, Eric Stokes, somebody I thought about putting on my top fits. I'm not sure, though. I left him off, but I like Eric Stokes. I think he's had his struggles there in Green Bay. But I guess if you're looking at the stats, it's a struggle. But I think he did okay, and he's still got a bright future, former Georgia Bulldog. See Tre'Davious White. He was moved around all over the place. We'll see if he can come back from that injury. And then as you work your way up, you see obviously guys like Rasul Douglas on there, Dante Jackson, Gilmore, Fuller, Okudah, Byron Murphy is there, Jonathan Jones, DJ Reed, and Charvarius Ward, along with Carlton Davis. So got a lot of star-studded guys. Now, for me, I'm not looking at the top tier because I think we've already got some top-tier corners, and we're not going to spend that much. Not to say that we won't spend some money at that position, because you're going to save that $9 million with Slay and Bradbury, but that's not until June 2nd. So you've got to wait some time, but you could still, put money in that corner position because, again, Isaiah Rodgers, Avonte Maddox, you got 4 guys that won't be here. So you definitely want to replace them. And the question becomes, do you do that in the draft? Do you do that in free agency? And, so we're going to talk about with these top fits right here. I'd love to hear your top fits, whether you got top 3, top 5, top 10, whatever's on your mind. Love to hear from you. But I put some thought into this one. It's hard because you always just want to pick the top guys, right? I'd love to have all pros at every position, but you got to look at what we're already investing there, what's going on. That's why I try to show you that stuff. So for me, you could definitely be trying to get yourself a starting caliber guy. So kind of stuck with that, but maybe more so guys that have had off years, things like that, trying to find a diamond in the rough. Let's talk about it. We're started off here with Dante Jackson, and I'm a fan of Dante Jackson's game, and we talked about him before he went to Pittsburgh, coming out, from Carolina there, 5'10", 180 pounds. But this dude, 29 years old, going into his 8th season, he can play outside and he can play it well, but he can play inside very well also. That versatility is something I'm always looking for. You can see 15 games, started all of them, had 5 picks, 8 passes deflected, an 88.6 passer rating allowed. That's decent there. And a couple tackles for a loss there. But I think that Dante Jackson, for me, is somebody you bring in a veteran that can help these younger guys. And, he might cost you around the $5 million range. I think he's somebody that's definitely earned it. He could make more somewhere else. Somebody thinks he's, still got a lot left in the tank. And I wouldn't, be mad at him for it because I think he does. Now, his PFF grade, not great. Take all that with a grain of salt. I think that Dante Jackson, still one of the better corners in the game. And if you add him with Quinyon Mitchell and then you have Cooper DeJean in the nickel there, I think that'd be a great trio of corners. So for me, I think Dante Jackson would be a great pickup. And then another Jackson here, Dane Jackson. And, when he went from Buffalo to Carolina had high hopes, him, and they got J.C. Horn there. They got the Smith Wade from Ohio State there. They've got a lot of pieces. And we talked about Michael Jackson taking his spot. But, 3 starts. He played in 9 games, had an injury there. A couple passes deflected, 129.2 passer rating allowed. Not great. So a definite down year, got paid a little bit and then, really didn't show up. So not great, but 28 years old and going into his 6th year, 5'11", 180. This is another versatile piece. And I think, with that down year, with things like that happening, you could try to sign him for cheaper. And that way you don't have to spend a lot of money and you get somebody that has, that starting capability, can compete with Kaylee Ringo and maybe somebody that you've drafted. So you don't have to spend a lot if you go after someone like him. And I would not be against that at all. And then up next, Bryce Hall, another free agent signing that I thought was a good move or trade, whatever it was. But the Bucks bringing him in, I thought this kid's going to get a chance to shine. He was there with the Jets, obviously Sauce Gardner. You've got a lot of pieces there, DJ Reed, that overshadow him. 6'1", 202 pounds, and this dude can play outside well. You can see last year he played in like 17 snaps, I think it was, before his injury. So unfortunate, but maybe that knocks his price down. But this is a kid, I think, 27 years old, still got a lot left in the tank. And Vic Fangio, I think, is the perfect kind of corner. He's got great athleticism and speed. I think he would fit in just fine. Get him on the cheap, pairing him with Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. I'd be beyond ecstatic about that. Please go ahead and sign me some Bryce Hall. But that injury history, things like that will concern you. So again, if you're going for, someone that costs a little less, I think you still look into the draft. So yeah, that would be my mindset there. Now at number 2, Isaiah Rodgers, man. Almost had him number 1. I really think you should bring him back. I think, he showed last year he can definitely fill in. He had a few starts there, 4 passes deflected, 87.4 passer rating allowed, had a forced fumble, 26 tackles, came in the playoffs. Whenever needed, he came in there. Only 27 years old, going into his 5th season, obviously missed that season with the gambling stuff, 5'10", 170. This is another versatile piece. Plays outside, can play inside. But when given the opportunity, I think he showed he did pretty well. If given the starting job, I would not be mad at Rodgers, Mitchell, and Cooper DeJean at all. And, having Rodgers and Ringo compete, I think that would be awesome. I'd be all for it. And the only reason he's not number 1, and look, I think he's earned himself a little bit of a payday, but I think maybe you could talk him down a little bit, maybe the 4-5 range. But I think another team, Super Bowl champion, they could offer him a lot, and you could definitely miss out on him. But if you're going to spend a little bit of money, and I think this dude could definitely earn himself some money, Paulson Adebo. And, last year only got to play in 7 games, and he started each of them with that injury. That sucks. But this kid is he's got such a bright future. Only 25 years old, going into his 5th season, 6'1", 192 pounds. And I think, the $6 million range is keeping it lightly, because if other teams, see what we've all seen and know what this kid is capable of, you're going to take a shot at him and give him some money. I think somebody's going to give him a lot of money. Probably not going to be a Philadelphia Eagle, but hell, maybe it is Howie Roseman. Maybe he's like, dude, putting Adebo with Mitchell and DeJean, that is the future right there. And you can see, 3 picks, 10 passes deflected, a 67 passer rating allowed, 52 tackles, and a tackle for loss in 7 games. So the dude, he was out there balling last year when given the opportunity. I think that he would be a fantastic addition for the Philadelphia Eagles and this very young secondary. But you add him, then maybe sign, someone like a Bryce Hall or a Dane Jackson. Add both of them. I don't give a damn. Really tune this room up. But again, you have Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. So I'm still very ecstatic about the position. You have the draft coming up. So if you want to continue to get younger, I'm all about it. But there's still some young free agents out there. And there's plenty other ones. I wanted to put Asante Samuel Jr. on there, but I think he's going to get paid way out of our range, even though a down kind of year. But his dad, I mean, when you have that name, people are still going to give him a shot. And with that, skill set he has, I get it. Jonathan Jones is another one I almost put on here. So Stokes, Jones, and Asante Samuel, I left off this list, but would be more than happy to have them and a bunch of other pieces. A lot of good corners out there available. Love to hear your thoughts, who you like out there. But if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button, share this bad boy, subscribe, and join the family. But I hope to get the safety video out tonight. And then we can get into the recap while the tampering period begins tomorrow. But until then, I'm Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there. And as always, go Birds!